The power of pivoting. The power and the art of taking information and pivoting accurately, strategically. Man, everybody talks about growth up and out, but can you simplify and streamline? Can you cut what's not needed? Can you change course when it's no longer working? That's wisdom. That's true power. The man that pivots quickly with new information is gonna win this game.
Yeah. Body weight shit, huh? That's all it was.
What's up?
But,
What's up, brother?
That was the best thing for it.
Fucking A. Yeah, that's how you grew.
Hey, man.
up, bro?
Dude. Glad to have you.
How are you,
We got
man?
the whole crew here today, man. Oh, we got a good day. We got a good day. We got the crew here. Oh, we got a trifecta. Invictus, 5326, Ryan Williams in the house. Austin Hancock in the house. Yeah, and you're like,
You guys want to do this? What do you want to do?
yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's hit some. Man, it's still nice in October, bro. Damn, like yesterday, dude, I was out. I was like in the
Dude,
sun.
yesterday was gorgeous.
Bro, I was getting like sun, dude. I was like, man, this is great, bro. I can get used to this. Dude, I'm like outside with an aerosol can just spraying. I'm like, man, this global warming ain't so bad, dog. I'm like, shit,
You need some
dude.
more revving your truck.
I'm like, with my diesel truck running, dude. I'm like, shit, bro.
More dinosaurs.
Yeah.
that Al Gore's full of shit, dog. That's too fucking funny, bro.
We talk about peace of mind. We've talked about that. You had a really good post about overhead
Oh,
in a company, and I was thinking about that, like in terms of like cars and stuff. It's like, bro, the peace of mind of like, okay, now I got to manage this. Now I got insurance for that. Now I this. Or
Oh, yeah.
Now I have this building. And you talked about that too, Ryan, about massive overhead.
Oh no, 100%. Because you could be doing a couple $1 million, but if your profit's freaking 2%, you're threading on dude, thin ice, super thin
Not
ice.
to mention the added stress of all the network you have to build on top of that, all the overhead, the people, the this,
Yep.
the that, for what margin?
Yeah.
And you put some numbers to it. You're like, why not make 200,000 and keep it, 90% of it, than
Yep.
$1 million and keep
Freaking 2% or 1%
and I'm like,
of it.
and that's a lot of
It's a different work.
companies, man. So that's what I've been kind of looking into now. I'm like, bro, how can you make the most money with the least amount of overhead?
Exactly, dude.
Scale's not always a good idea, right?
Yeah.
It's all so
sounds
hyped
sexy,
up
cool,
and sexy.
yeah.
Talk about scale and volume.
Top line
Yeah.
revenue is just ego.
It's exactly. It's totally.
Yeah, you.
I learned that. I had to learn that lesson, dude. I straight had to learn that
I was like,
lesson.
yeah, grow.
Yeah, same
I
here.
look at my bottom line and I fuck
Yeah.
Yeah, go. We got another building.
And
we
I
got
feel
another
like
warehouse.
my dumb ass has done it in multiple realms. I've done it in a service business. One time my dad was like, okay, do it with flips. And I did fucking 12 flips at one time. They're all like sub $200,000 houses, but I had them going. And then the construction was going a little longer. And then
Now you have
and then my
12.
project manager's not getting them done. And so they keep stacking and I'm paying interest only for the time. I'm like, dude, we got to fucking move these things. No more. We're not buying anything.
Yeah.
Get these done. So like scale wasn't good, right? If I'd have just done 2 that made me more net margin the whole entire year, I would have been better off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
shit
dude.
I had to learn, man.
Yeah, that's the and you also your what we talked about, that freedom of movement starts to get bogged down.
100%.
You have all these things now. Now you're stuck
Yeah.
into your model. You can't pivot.
I think so many people are stuck on that on a personal level, bro, because what they do is they get this idea in their head that they get emotionally attached to their home. They get emotionally attached to their neighborhood where they live. They want something. They talk about how they want something more. They really don't want to give up the hotchkies that the grandma gave them at the house, or the stupid old bed, or this fucking house that they have. It's like they want this mansion, but they don't really want to give up the 3-car garage and they're scared of losing this, so they can never reach that.
The stuff.
It's stuff.
The
It's
stuff.
fucking
And dude,
stuff.
I was driving and I'm looking at storage units, right? And just passing them, just all these. Look,
They're all over,
bro,
dude. They're all over.
What is in there, right? Most of these people
That you
don't
need.
And I've had stuff in a storage unit I just cleared out. Man, clean out your environment, bro. But it was like military stuff, boxes, Pelican cases, and I go. So I've just been going box by box. I'm like, what is all this shit? Like,
Why do I have it?
Don't need it. I'm like, getting out of that mindset of, oh, I might use it when,
Bro.
when you know, I haven't
I
touched
feel
it
like
in
we're
half a
programmed to
decade,
do that,
dude.
though. But I think because we were in the military, we gained a little perspective on not having shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so it was kind of nice. But like, I mean, you see it all the time. You see it all the time.
Yeah, it's unprogramming this like, having stuff, and I'm like, bro, I want to get to that like Indian, like roll it up in a tiki fucking.
Right.
Well,
seriously,
you're
how
the one that brought it to
streamlined can I
light for
get?
me when you were like, I asked you a question. I still talk about it to other people. I'm like, so you got like a freaking Connex box you got to ship back from the French Foreign Legion? You're like, no, bro, I got a sea bag or some shit.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, and then I looked at my wife, and we have a fucking 3,300 square foot office, this house we just custom built, these cars, these payments, these things, and I was like,
Dude,
how the fuck am I jealous of this guy? Like,
Yeah.
and I am of like his just on like freedom of movement.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to start changing.
That's
some shit.
been like my push, which
Literally.
I'm making for this year, because I've been banging this drum of like simplification's the highest form of sophistication.
I love it.
So I've been like, all right, how do I simplify everything? Like, dude, like, what is in this box? Do I fucking need any? Like, all right, let's sell this shit. Let's stack these things. Like, let's take every drawer. Like, really trying to like be systematic. It used to overwhelm me, but now I'm like,
Every time we've ever moved and having kids shit, dude, when you get kid stuff, you just throw that shit out.
I've been
Give it
trying to
the
go
Salvation Army.
scorched earth, bro. Like scorched earth. I want to get rid of so much shit that I get rid of shit I need. You know what I mean?
Damn it, I wish I had that.
That's what I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I probably need to go buy another one of those. But then I know I need it,
Yeah.
right? Because then I'm like, even clothes and stuff.
I feel
dude,
ya.
I'm like really, really going fucking hardcore scorched earth, simplifying like my wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got kids and
But
wife
we
and
still wipe some shit away. We still always are cleansing.
yeah, and you've moved houses too, which
That helps,
probably
bro.
helped.
It helps because you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want to take this. Like, I don't care about this.
Yeah.
You know? And even like leasing now versus owning, I tell people this. I'm like, I built my houses. I would spend hours on designing my own freaking bedroom size, like square footages and stuff. And I like to nerd out. I'm a pretty artsy guy. I'm like thinking about this. When we walk in that way, the clothes are gonna be to the left.
I'm gonna
the fucking
pivot.
soft close drawers. I'm gonna have the things that come down. Like I would get it all in because that was what I did for a living. And I was like, dude, so much time spent on like whether I was gonna choose subway tile or fucking 4x4s.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
did not. I look back, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about it at all. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy, but we get so latched into it. It was you and I've had both my grandfathers pass away in like the last 4 years, and I watched my grandmothers stuck with their home, all the shit in there, and you know when they pass, like I hate to say, but nobody wants that stuff.
Yeah.
But they've spent their entire lives like that's the thing. Like this is the bed that your great grandma had, or this is the thing, and you're like,
Yeah.
nobody wants it. Bro.
Does it really matter?
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Well, some things like they can't throw away, you know, because they mean something to them. But the next person they pass it on to, they're like,
Yeah, and in their defense, dude, the era and the timing of it's huge
Yeah.
because like
They're like Great Depression
they're
era.
fucking
Yeah,
my
it's
grandma's
different.
mom is Great Depression era,
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah.
And so their mindset is way different.
Yeah.
And it does mean something to them because they didn't have like remember when I went on that yacht last weekend and got a hangover? You know, you have an experience that you could share with somebody. Back then, their experience was like, hey, we ain't got shit. Here's this bed that grandma had.
Yeah.
It's funny. My mom just sent me a package. She's super funny. She sends you random shit.
Yeah,
She's
that's
like,
dope.
Well, she sent me a text like, "Hey, I'm sending all the kids a bunch of shit I've been hanging on to." I'm like, "Okay, what the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
This box shows up. It's like got baby blankets, bro. It's got like
From you?
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I was gonna throw this away.
It's got like shit. She made some trousers or something.
That's
I'm like,
sick.
Holy shit.
That's
bro.
funny.
I think it's her way. She wanted to throw away,
But
she's
she
like,
felt
"Fuck, I can't
guilty."
throw away, so I'm just gonna give it to him.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. My mom sells like my G.I. Joes, bro. Like the freaking G.I. Joe guys and everything. And I have like a little bird helicopter that I built and shit. I go back to my parents' house, like, what are you gonna do with this? She's like, I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
My old skate shoes
Dude,
and
it's
stuff.
been like I'm like really taking the enjoyment. It's like I'm like psychologically shifting into I use it as like relax time now. I'll take an hour, go through one of those fucking boxes. Like, here's what I'm taking to the military surplus store. I'm gonna fucking throw all this
It's
shit
not a
away.
bad idea.
Yeah,
there are a few items, right? There's some certain special items that you'll want to pass on to your kid. They'll be like, but it's always something that's super easy. Yeah, like for me, it's like a hat my grandfather wore, or something simple.
You can fit it into one box.
Exactly, like a dope instructor t-shirt from when you were an instructor. That's sick, dude.
Yeah, of course my kids will be like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah.
No, that'll be tight. Like you could frame that. Like that's a thing.
For real, it's cool. It's cool, man.
Trust me.
See, I'm trying to get it honed into like one Pelican case. Like something you can feel.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, this is the shit I like. Like that I'm not gonna just
exactly.
Throw away.
That shit's okay.
Yeah, just get in a nice roll fucking case. It's like.
But when you notice when you go to people's garages, they have. I mean, I'm guilty of it, bro. I had shit that I didn't touch for years in my garage.
Fucking like,
especially car parts.
Yeah.
That was bad.
For the last like 2 months, I've had a diving mask like bouncing around my house. It's like keeping my car. I'm like, a diving mask. I hate diving, bro.
I'm never gonna die.
I will never willingly go in the fucking water by choice. I can't bring myself to throw away. Like, maybe one day, maybe somebody's gonna want me to do some frogman shit, and I need a mask.
That's fucking hilarious. That's a great example.
Yeah. You're like, and then like,
because the trash it comes back and lands on the counter.
I just took it to our warehouse. I'm like,
put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's.
I've been really trying to challenge my ways of thinking on that recently. Like, am I just like, what are my hang-ups on getting rid of some of this shit?
Yeah. Because what you said, it's not about the stuff, it's about your thought of why you need it.
Yeah,
what
it's
you
like
really start to dive into.
I had these baseball cards and like football cards, rings and things, and I cannot throw them away because I'm like, what if my kid needs them? I'm like, bro, I have a fucking daughter on the way. She's not gonna want these. Like, I'm like, dude, why can't I just get rid of these? But it's weird, dude. I'm like, maybe they're worth something, you know? But I'm like, am I really gonna sell these fucking things? I'm not gonna take any time to do
Dad, do you remember when you had those cars? I wish you would have kept them. Ain't gonna happen, bro. I feel the same way.
Yeah, my mom did go scorch. She gets some of these things and she went scorched earth, but she went like full tilt. She had like the most badass set of like vinyl records.
That's badass.
She got rid of all of them. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, you went. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got to draw the line here somewhere. I'm like, where are all those vinyl records?
Dad was driving.
I took them to Goodwill. I'm like, you took them all to good fucking Will? She had a sick ass collection, bro.
Yeah. Fucking Dad was all like, I got a freaking '69 Camaro in mint condition for $1,500. You could have kept that. You could have kept that. That would have been the thing. Here we are with this dive mask, with this fucking hat.
Yeah,
it was a Yinko Camaro. No, fuck.
Yeah, but that goes back to like the overhead thing. That's why I'm like, what is all these things like? They're just bogging me down.
Certain businesses require a lot of overhead though. Like certain new businesses do. And so it's some people like, look at Amazon, right? You can make a multi-trillion-dollar, billion-dollar business by having overhead like that. You can really grow if the margin's there on it or the volume's there.
Yeah.
The airline industry only operates within less than 5% margin, you know, and look at their expenses, but it's a publicly traded, it's a different business. So what I've learned is like, you either really want to like a more of a lifestyle business or you want to grow a massive corporation and company to sell it.
Yeah.
If you have an insurance firm and you have 300 people that work for you, you're going to have to lease an office.
Yeah.
And you're going to have people, and you're going to have to have phones. You're going to have all the things.
Yeah.
You're going to have HR. Like, so
Which
it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I think at the beginning, we all just wanted to make a few bucks to get out of the fucking life that we had.
Yeah.
But you get convoluted with the journey of like which way. I didn't really want this, and I made that mistake. Like, I have the office, I have this, and then I realized I was like, bro, I just wanted to live my life, and now here I am having to be here earlier, stay later, because I feel obligated to these people that I hired. I was like, holy shit.
I'm going to do one step.
I'd have been better off being a realtor.
What was the moment you kind of realized that? And you too, like you had a moment of like fucking chopping some things away and realizing, both of you, right?
Well, yeah. Because it was either you had to die, dude.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was a lot. We had 24 people on staff. We had 3 warehouses and a big ass like HQ space. I felt like a baller. I felt like an adult entrepreneur, right?
Right. You feel like what you're supposed to be, right?
Like walk in, like,
same here, bro. I had a custom desk and shit.
Cool,
yep.
Yeah, and then I looked at the bottom line like, holy shit, bro.
Same here.
We had to cut everything, but looking back, like, I think we should have cut faster. We should have cut deeper right off the bat. I should have cut down to where we are now, like 4 employees plus Disney and I, and 1 warehouse. If I'd done that right away, would have been way better. But I was trying to like, oh no, it's my ego too. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. I don't want people to think I'm a shitty entrepreneur.
Right. I don't think everybody we're going under because we're firing people or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Honestly,
totally get that.
Sometimes just surviving is a win. Sometimes
It is.
just it's a fucking win, dude.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize too is that, dude, everybody goes through these things. These times, like
You feel alone though.
Yeah, you feel alone at the moment.
Yeah.
You feel like, dude, I was like, fucking a shitty entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot. How did I see this coming? Then I read all these books about, Musk and Bezos and Phil Knight from Nike. And every entrepreneur book ever, they have a story about almost going out of business, usually multiple times. Like every fucking one.
I think you're pushing the envelope if you're not, or you're not growing.
Yeah, it helped me realize, like, okay, I'm not just a shitty entrepreneur. This is part of the process. I'm like,
these are lessons I had to learn, I guess.
I had to learn. But I was like, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just part of it.
Isn't that crazy though with money though? Because if you put that with anything else, if you're like, okay, you want to be an MMA fighter, you're like, oh, I'm probably gonna get knocked in the noggin a few times to train. You're like, nobody says anything about that. But when it comes to the money, you're like, oh, you make 100,000. You're like, if I go back from this, if I let 2 people go, I'm a pussy. I'm losing it.
Dude, I know. We're all on our own.
It's crazy, dude.
Most people don't even give it. They don't even know what the fuck you're doing. It's like in the gym. Like you think everybody's looking at you.
Nobody's looking at
They're
you.
looking at themselves.
Nobody cares.
Looking at them. They're not. They're busy. They're not even looking at you.
That's exactly right, dude.
Also, what you've learned in that process, I bet, was
That's the most important shit that I learned.
Yeah, you went up in that, but you're so much more elevated in your fucking textured knowledge.
Yep.
Scaling up is one thing, but like having to be able to scale down effectively is.
Oh, that's a good point. You don't hear about a lot.
Huge.
Like you've done it. Like it's,
Yeah.
People
100%.
talk about scaling, but you only hear it
Scale up.
They don't. Scaling down is probably more important.
Yeah, you could scale down and do half the amount of gross revenue. If you're making more freaking profit, you're doing more with less.
We were doing like 7 million top line revenue at the time. Now we're doing, maybe we'll close out this year like 3.2. Like way more profit. Way more profit.
And so what happens, dude? What happened to me at least was like, you ask yourself what was important. What's important? Like, what are you really trying to do?
Yeah.
Are you trying to make money and live a life, or are you just trying to grow and look like you have? Because I think of it from a service industry. I'm like, you can go get 15 trucks that mow lawns and do all these stuff, and your logos are on the side, and you wrap them, and you got the things. But Phil's Baller, you got the office on the corner with the logo and the signs. And and then you look at the numbers, and you're like, bro, we ain't making shit. We got to pivot.
It's crazy. I mean, we're down 55%. We're down 55% revenue from top line. But dude, it's way better.
Way better life. Way easier to serve clients.
Right, and even
Your product's probably better because you guys are better. Yep, exactly, dude.
We're way closer to everything. Like, keep an eye on it's when we do scale up again, because I do want to get the chip. But we do it again. Oh shit, man, we're gonna do way different.
I had to learn those lessons. Big time. It's important. Did you already go?
No.
I'll freaking run it.
Man, that's stress management too. It moves the meter. It moves the meter, dude. I bet for you guys with like all these employees. I mean, I remember just in the cannabis when we had that, like, it moved the meter for me, like, because you have other people's lives in your hands now. It's like totally changes the game. I can imagine that being what you learn on the way up and down. Now your whole perspective is different, and your ability to manage what comes now. A problem that probably fucked with you early on now is like nothing.
Oh,
True.
Well, it's like in the gym, man. It's like the weights don't get lighter; you just get stronger.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just get better at dealing with shit, and the shit that would kill you before, now you're like, eh.
Yeah, I know that. All we gotta do is this. I gotta call this guy, get that thing done. Yeah, that's literally how it is.
Yeah.
It's frustrating looking back, too.
It is.
Damn it.
I could have been here half the time.
You've been through a lot of different things, because I remember, just coming to the SEAL team. You were in SQT when you're an instructor, and he had businesses and
While
you
he was an instructor?
Yeah, he had a big.
Damn.
He was launching. What were the ones you had? Demon Bells going.
Yeah.
You had.
I would show up and as an instructor with a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Top right there.
Yeah.
What's funny about that though, dude? Like, because I had like a mullet at the time, like pretty aggressive.
Legit. For being a team guy still?
Yeah.
I was definitely pushing the edges.
Yeah.
But they never said shit about my mullet, but they
Always
got
the
mad
car.
at me. They got mad at me. Here's the kicker. They got mad at me for having the Lambo. So like, bro, it's not good for these guys to see somebody get out and be successful.
Yeah.
It's like, are you fucking? They literally said that. Like, you're telling me I'm a bad example because you don't want guys to
Team
get
guys to
out
come out,
there
yeah.
and be successful.
That's a weird thing. Yeah, that's
You're not
wild.
mad about this, but you're mad
Yeah.
about this.
But you look at the guys telling you that, and they're just they're straight jealous because they're not successful.
Yeah.
And they won't get out. They're freaking lifer guys.
Yeah, life.
So they're trying to be like, we don't like you basically because
There's crazy, bro. That's wild. I remember you had a lot of things going on, but you also had your learning points through all that, man. Your business partners and like,
I've had
different
business
names,
partners.
but up and down. And I'm sure you guys have had some interesting lessons learned about business partners and what works, what doesn't.
It's a funny thing, man. Like I used to blame, because we did get fucked over. I'm generally a good person, and we did get fucked over. But at the same time, I realize now in a lot of situations, like personal situations too, like Mikey Sowers and I's relationship.
Yeah.
Like I was right about the things that I was upset with him about.
Yeah.
But the way I approached it, I was the asshole. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't, now looking back, I would have been like, for that thing, I just shot him a text about some shit. But I should have had a personal conversation. Like, hey, we got to talk about this and let's sit down, let's chat.
It's hard to have those conversations at first, though, when you're starting out.
So I'm like, I just shot him a text. I'm like, hey, bro, like, here's the facts. And he's basically like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He's defensive because of the way you said it.
But he was, I mean, I was right, but at the same time, I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
I didn't approach it right. There's a really good book called Never Split the Difference.
I've heard it.
His boss, dude, it really helped me see things from other people's perspective. Because I'm more like, it's the truth, and I don't care how somebody tells me the truth.
Right, exactly.
I mean, hey, asshole, this. I'm like,
okay. Hey, you're right, you're right. Yeah.
But most people aren't like that. So I had a lot of issues, like in relationships, in partnerships, and all this stuff, because I didn't know how to live in the situation from their perspective. So that book really helped me kind of pull back and be like, oh, fuck.
That makes sense.
This is how I'm looking at the deal. Because I would make deals with people that I thought from their perspective was a good deal.
Yeah.
And it was. But that's not how they saw it.
Oh,
yeah. They wanted something really different.
They had a different picture. Yeah, their priorities or version of success or version of winning.
Oh, that's a good
totally
point.
Different.
That adds a whole new layer when you think about it. It might be good overarchingly, but is it their kind of good? So that's a kind of interesting way to look at it.
I'm like, hey, how do you want to structure the deal? You tell me how you want to do it, and then we'll make tweaks to it.
I had the same issue right there because my version of succeeding in the company was different than my partner's version of succeeding. I was like, we're going to grow this. I'm in it to make money. We're going to help people out along the way. Of course, we're going to do these houses.
Yeah.
And his version of like, oh, no, I don't want I'm not trying to make a big amount. I just want to do this. So if you're trying to go here and he's trying to go here, you're already freaking hitting each other's heads against the wall.
Man. Same thing like a relationship, alignment with your chick, alignment with anybody, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have to figure out what you both want, then find a way there. Like my wife and I are aligned on a few things, but like I don't give a shit about horses.
Yeah, she does.
She loves horses, but like horses are like, I love animals, and horses are like honestly my least favorite thing.
Me too, dude. Me too. I do not give a shit about horses. I think they hate me too, bro.
Kind of assholes, you know? And they just,
I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna kill me.
Dude, that's so funny, bro.
But I like horsepower, and I like
me too.
Shit about cars.
I like horsepower.
Where we're aligned, it's like they're both expensive, so we need to make.
Yeah. So we have this common goal.
You're like, all
not live
right,
broke.
so we need to make some money.
Yeah.
All right, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I got good advice from a super successful entrepreneur at the beginning of like, he's talking about partnerships. Two things. He said, one, your problems don't come in day one. Your problems come when you either make a lot of money or you lose a lot of money. And then he said, if your partner lays their head with crazy, then you're partnered with crazy. And so I was like, I never thought about partnering with like you and your wife, because if she's like, well, Austin's cheating you, Austin's doing these things, Austin's the one robbing you, you're doing all the work. I see you working late.
Oh, that's a good
But you and I
point.
had an agreement that you're doing the admin work and I'm over here doing Instagram. And then she's in your ear like, well, you're doing all the work. I see you working late, and Austin's a piece of shit. He's just flexing on Instagram.
Oh man,
So
that's a really good point.
I was cautious ever since that, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
because you're
the
like,
chick will be like the wife or whatever.
yeah, you're tied in with that too.
And you got to be careful what you tell her. Like if Ryan's going home and telling his girl, oh yeah, well Austin's, he's saying this stuff.
Yeah,
so she's gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck
Yeah,
this.
she's getting one side of it.
Yeah.
This.
You don't even know what the original agreement was.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even matter anymore.
And we talked about this before, which was a good point about venting.
Yeah.
As men, is like, and we've had a similar conversation, which was,
I've struggled with that
you'll be
in the
like,
past, bro.
we'll be like, he's like, what? I'm like, what did you learn about? Like, he goes, man, I used to vent my problems out loud, like laying down in the bed, like, oh, I don't know, how about this? They're not going to pay. We're going to have to sell. We're done.
We're done.
Literally
how I used to do it,
And he's like, and she was internalizing all this. He's like, then I would get up and she'd be like, And I'm like, that's a really good point because, she's like, we can't go out. We can't go out to eat.
Yeah, no, my wife would like lock it up. She'd be
paid.
like, after you just said what you said last night, I'd be up in the morning after a workout. No, it's fine. We should buy another car or something. I'm over it. This person actually paid. It's fine.
Oh, no, we're good. No, we're good.
But at night, you're all like, you're like, oh, fuck, what's going on? Or one email will be like, oh, up the deep end.
Yeah, partnerships are tough, man. What we notice too now is like, we won't partner with somebody until we meet their significant other.
100%.
Well, also because and we look at it as like, and maybe this is too idealistic, but if you're gonna cheat on your partner, you're gonna cheat on your other partner.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why like Disney had a really good relationship, and not everybody has that. I get it. Like we have, we're aligned on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, if you're gonna cheat on your spouse,
yeah,
really likely to cheat on your business.
Which is a business agreement for the most part.
Yeah, 100%. One of the things I've learned the most recent, I would say even since I moved out here to San Diego and kind of doing more of the online business, growing the online business versus the traditional business, is that like when I read all the books, the entrepreneur books, I went to the seminars, I've done all the education for entrepreneurship, and I realized like they would tell you like standard operating procedures, protocol, screening, hiring, all these things, and I'm going through the book. And I was like, I have to be a different person when I'm hiring Ryan because I'm looking at their resume and I'd have to do all this corporate style shit. And then I realized like, if I threw that away and got to know you as a person, I would be better as a business. So it became more of like, are morals and values aligned? Are we driven together? Let's go there instead of being like, let me see your resume. Okay, so 4 years of college, and it looks like you were in the industry before, but you and I may fucking not get along at all, but you check all the boxes, and I hired those people, or I would work with those people, and it was a disaster, bro. A disaster. So I literally, like, this day and age, I've almost taken, like, the corporate fucking thing and thrown it away and been more like, look, this is where I want to go. I'm going to be extremely blunt with you. This is just how I talk, and this is what we're going to do. And if you want to be a part of it, I'd like to meet your girl. I'd like to meet your family. I want to know what you want in life, and let's make it happen together. It's totally different, though.
That's exactly my experience, because what I realized, one of my biggest problems when we were scaling up, and one of the reasons we had to scale down, was that I was trying to be a corporate guy, and I was trying to be this, like, I need to change my leadership style, I need to be nice.
Exactly what I did.
When in reality, like, for instance, we had something where, like, some of our employees started putting their pronouns in their fucking email signatures. Yeah. And I wanted to walk in and be like, open the fucking doors, like, none of you motherfuckers are sending a goddamn email with your fucking pronouns in it.
Oh, that's
this fucking moment.
Yeah.
I should have done it.
Because that would have kept the people around that you really want to work with.
People that should have quit would have fucking it would have made my life so much fucking easier.
I'm the same way, dude.
So much easier. But instead, I'm like, no, we'll just go talk to them and be like,
because you feel like you have to be someone different.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, I need to be corporate.
Yes, bro.
Way easier. I got myself in so much trouble because I was trying to lead from a different style.
Dude, tell me.
Then fucking right
100%.
Yeah.
Well, because I think what I thought, and you correct me if I'm wrong if you felt this way, but I came out of the military, I was like, I'm too brass, I'm too aggressive, I'm too this, so I need to be corporate guy, because that's what they tell you. Well, because you've been to the entrepreneur fucking rooms, and you're kind of like, pretty out. Yeah, you're different. You walk in the room, you're just different than the guy that's like, I'm just trying to grow my business. I graduated college 3 years, and I'm like,
you said that before.
I got in a fist fight with my homie over here yesterday, you know.
My wife doesn't like my pool. I don't know what to do.
What are you
What are you talking about? Tell her to shrug off.
You said that before about the authenticity about the tattoos.
Yeah.
About being in business deals.
Oh,
with,
I felt I got to cover them up, bro. I'm long sleeve for custom home.
I can't sell custom home. I got to be with the sleeves down and like, but now your energy's all fucking out of alignment.
Always.
Now you're not that guy.
You're fake. I am. I was being fake by trying not to be.
So nothing's hitting the same.
It's not the same.
Not in the same mode. Not to mention all the energy you're hemorrhaging by you just not being in flow state.
Exactly.
Thinking about how others are perceiving you rather than just sending it. And actually, this hits harder.
100%.
Which is funny. This hits harder than anything else would have, bro.
Authenticity is the core of everything. Like the stuff that we all do.
Yeah.
And like a modern entrepreneur, authenticity is the core of everything because it's so. People spot fake so easy now.
Yeah.
Because so many people are so fucking fake.
Yeah.
So many people.
You cannot survive being fake anymore. You can't fake shit. Like
No.
You have to be so fucking on it, so into it, like every day. Like there's no room for fake shit.
Not to mention, we record a lot of our shit now.
Yeah.
So it's like all it takes is for one person to see, bro, this person's not who they say.
It's totally different when I see him in person.
They don't live the lifestyle that they say. Wow, you can't even really hide if you're in any type of space now because you're a walking billboard, walking resume.
Yep.
It's live now.
Yeah, and then
You can
comments,
feel it,
people-
bro.
Yeah.
People are like, hey man, this motherfucker did this and that. Like, oh shit. Like, I love the comments because motherfuckers don't give a shit. I'm like, oh fuck, all right.
Damn. Yeah. Damn.
Dude, you want to do some polls?
Let's do it.
Back.
Oh yeah. You gotta own it a little bit. That's with any car almost for a guy.
But through the car and then other people have real money, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm bored.
That's exactly what happened. I'm so bored right now.
You go to the gym, you think you're all jacked, and you see a huge guy like, fuck.
Yeah.
That guy's like, yeah. It's interesting though. You said something interesting
Straight
about a post a long time ago of like Facebook or something, dude. Like back in 2016 or 17, you said, dude, the content's important, but so is the context.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I get it, because you were like commuting in like a Ford Focus or something.
Yeah.
You're like to work. I remember you're like, hey man, I got this, but
this is
and you were like all open about like, hey man, I'm not gonna drive this every day because I'm commuting. And so
yeah.
he was like, man, I give my business card out. I hop out of the Ford Focus. It's the same business card, but the context of me handing that card to somebody is different than hopping out of the Lambo that's wrapped in the custom, wrap. Now the context is different. The content is exactly the same. And I think about that with people's physical body, all their lifestyle, everything. It's like, bro, you might have the best information.
Yep.
But if it's packaged not right and not delivered correctly, it's gonna fall flat. So you have got to cover all the bases.
We have to show proof too. It's like if you're gonna
People need to
give
see
out
it.
fitness advice, like
You should be fit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I made the freaking reel the other day of I said, if you drive an old busted ass truck and it's just falling apart, you don't take care of it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a $100,000 car or if it's a fucking $5,000 car. If you don't take care of it, if it's not maintenance, if it's not cleaned up, you can afford to do that. I did it myself back in the day when I was in high school and and afterwards. And I'm like, if you don't freaking take care of that, then you're not going to take care of anything else. Like it represents you, even if it is take pride in your $5,000 car. People in the comments were like, I drive a piece of shit and I'm wealthy as fuck. And I was like,
You're missing the point, bro.
you're missing the whole entire point. Like, nobody cares,
They're
though.
like, well, they're committed.
The context is so different.
Yeah, and they're committed to not understanding.
Correct.
They've already committed to no matter what you say.
They're justifying their shitty
You're
car
like,
and their
bro, is
nasty
your
body, bro.
$5,000 car clean or not?
Exactly.
Is it organized or not? Is it broke down on the side of the road?
And my argument to them is literally like, dude, if you're not maintaining it, how do you expect to get from point A to point B successfully? Like, if it's your income, if it's your vehicle, what are you doing, bro?
Especially as a guy, too. Because as a guy, I think like your vehicle is kind of an extension of
It
you know
is.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The girls are different. Like my wife's super organized. She's the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
She's super fucking organized. Like, she's on her shit. We're a car.
Everywhere. So many chicks are like that, though.
Yes, that's pretty common.
Yeah. It's
Like, how can you be so organized?
Yeah.
And your car's the fucking
Dude, they
Yeah.
just
McDonald's
like their
wrappers
makeup
and
drawers,
hey,
bro.
McDonald's, really?
yeah. I guess Brittany, I'm gonna call you out. I'm like, did you go to Costco and get hot dogs? Like, what the fuck? It's in the back. I'm like, why is it? I go, if you're gonna do it, get rid of the evidence. But they won't even do that. I go, it's like stuck in the back. I'll go, hey, I'm gonna go get something out of your car. She goes, don't go in there. And I'm like, what do you mean, don't go in there?
Like a drug addict.
Yeah, I'm like, don't go in there. I'm like, what are you? They don't think the same. It is.
That's fucking
But
great,
as a
bro.
man,
That's
as a
fucking
man,
great.
if your shit's filthy, man, it means your mental state's not good, bro.
Like, people say like, don't quit, never quit. I'm like, bro, I quit so much shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's something that I struggled with was like feeling like a failure when I knew I had to pivot from something that wasn't making me money and I had to figure out whether it was me or it was the actual financial vehicle I was in. With businesses, right? Like you could push really hard on this one business and it'd be the best sandwich maker on the corner. But is that gonna get you to the jet?
Yeah.
Fuck no. Look at the math. Like, so that's why I literally pivoted from, service business to builder to construction company to freaking real estate investing. Cause I was like, at least if I push really hard at this for the rest of my fucking entire life and I have the knowledge to do real estate, it has the potential to make me worth $100 million plus dollars.
Yeah.
Other ones maybe could have, but
Probably,
what's the math work? How's the math work out on that? And that's where I was like, oh, okay. I have to change. And it was better sooner than later.
Knowing the pivot, that's where like the art comes in.
But I struggled with the fact that I felt like I was giving up on, like, oh, well, you could have. My little thing in the back of my head was like, you could have made that business worth $100 million, but could you really?
Not everything's scalable.
Not everything's
Also, too,
scalable.
that's also the definition of focus, is that you're excluding other shit. Like, you have to quit other shit so you can focus on other shit. Like, that's literally the definition of focus. You're excluding shit.
Yeah, and this was a good point. It's actually kind of an interesting day because this would have been my 5th year of my French Foreign Legion, my last day.
Shit.
And yeah, and so it was weird because bringing that up, I got blasted. Oh, you quit? You didn't fulfill your fucking... I go, bro, they're gonna put me in fucking jail, dude, in a foreign country. You can't get out. I got no rights. I go, an idiot would do that. But also, I had my own internal battle because I never really quit. You know, I'm like, am I quitting? Right? Are they right? Let that on. I'm like,
sure.
But I'm like, okay, well, let's really think about this. Like, look at what has transpired. Look where my life's at, baby, on the way. It's like, my life's great. Obviously, I think I made the better decision than sitting locked in a box in a foreign country. But there was that question of what's good information and then pivoting and then what's not. That's for you to figure out, and that's for you to really get honest about, because
good point.
The only way you can really know is fucking gut, man. They say God's in the gut. They say that a lot biblically, which is interesting, and I find that it's, you know what's right. Don't get too in your head about it. Man, dude, what feels correct?
Yeah.
That needs to be, it's not usually a logical decision. There is some logic to it, right? But it's like, what are you gonna regret on your deathbed? And what are you not? That's like the only question.
So we talked about in the beginning, like letting shit go too. It's like, how do you throw shit away? Like quitting on this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you should. And relationships too, man. Like sometimes you're in a bad relationship, and like quitting on the relationship. Like
maybe it's the best. Yeah. Maybe it's the best.
And that's a hard question for a lot of people. They're like, oh, I saw there's an interesting proverb or some quote somewhere that said, a truly successful life is trying to navigate that fine line between holding on and letting go. Yeah. I was like, damn, dude.
That's freaking deep.
Yeah, it's like the people that can master that art of like knowing what to let go of and what to fucking hold on to and fight for are the people that end up being successful.
I heard best, dude, like from real successful entrepreneur, he's like, do what comes easy to you. Like when it starts to work, like that's the thing you need to stick with. And I was like, I thought,
when it starts to work,
so hard. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I found is like that's kind of the universe guiding you is where you want to.
Agreed. I agree.
I do think that God helps those who help himself.
Yeah.
So if you're going down a path and you're trying to really make an effort, God will put the right people in place. If you're meant to do it, they'll put things in place. It'll be fucking hard.
Yep.
They'll put things in place. But what I have noticed too is that like guys like us, we work so fucking hard, we can make anything work.
Yeah. Exactly.
So and sometimes the universe will put in roadblocks. You're like, fuck that shit, I'm
gonna go right through it.
And you get it, and you're like,
yeah. Dude,
same
here. You're literally trying to hammer a freaking round peg into a square hole, and you're like, I'll make it happen.
So now what I do, I leave room for the universe to work in my decisions.
Yeah.
And if I get like a little bit of pushback, like 3 things. There's normal amount of friction, normal amount of everything's hard, right?
Yeah.
There's like 3 things. Like we're about to sign a lease on a big ass warehouse like a year and a half ago. And I thought it was the right move, like this and that. And there was the 3rd pushback. Like it had to be like personal guarantee or whatever. You know, like all my shit's personal guaranteed anyway. So that wasn't the issue. But the issue was it was a 3rd pushback. I'm like, okay, what is
why?
This?
Yeah. Why am I being taught this?
It's like universe tapping my shoulder. Like,
hey, bro, you don't want to do this.
I peeled everything back, and I'm like, holy shit. If I sign this lease, I'm fucked. You cannot. I was totally wrong direction. But it was the universe having like, I'll give you this if you want it, but you better be fucking sure.
Yeah, careful what you wish for.
That's a good point, man.
Now I listen to the universe because the universe keeps knocking and it keeps hitting you fucking harder and harder. So now I'm like, I'd rather get the shoulder tap.
Yeah.
In the back of the head.
The shoulder tap, dude. Where are your conversations going? Notice the trend. Are they down and in or are they up and out? Are you talking about people, negativity? Are you complaining? These are all down and in conversations, man. We want to be talking up and out. Family, faith, fitness, right? Growth, ideas.
And it should come easy. Like our conversations are easy, bro. They flow easy. I don't have to, they don't have to make up conversations. It's just real.
Also, do you leave charged or have you hemorrhaged energy? I know it can be family or whatever. Like you get in these bad habitual pathways of conversing with people and they could be just because that's how it always was. But if you start to elevate, really pay attention, man. When you leave a conversation with somebody, it can be on the phone or whatever, do you feel like drained? That is a really important sign to take note of. Why? And what are you, not what problem do they have? What are you contributing to it? Are you contributing? Is it your habitual patterns of conversing that you got to change up? It's important to note. I think that's where most people get caught up, man, is they don't realize, like, they might be like, hey, I want to remove myself from negative people. I'm like, you might be a negative person, right? It's like, what are you, it's like,
what are you bringing to the table?
What are you contributing to it? Because it's like, people would ask me, they're like, oh man, when you got into stuff, you were in a bad crowd. I was like, I was the bad crowd. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, but no, I wasn't around bad. I was the bad dude. Like, you know, and it's so like, once I got honest about that, dude, and it started to change it up, I'm like, it got easier because what it does is it re-empowers you. It's like, sure, there are people that you got to, you know, remove yourself from or situations. I get it. But if you're contributing to it, you're just as bad.
Yeah. When people blame somebody else, they're giving up power in the situation. That's people don't.
You say you don't have any power. You don't have any control over
it.
it.
It's easy. Well, this person.
Victims.
But if you do that, you rob yourself of the opportunity to change.
Yeah.
You rob yourself of power. If you're like, hey, when I fucked up and almost lost my whole business, it's because I hired the wrong person. I didn't check their shit. But I'm like, oh, the CFO fucked us. I don't have any power.
And you wouldn't have never learned the lesson because you would have thought the CEO was fucked
up. I don't make the same mistake again, but I'm like, no, that was my fault. I hired the wrong person.
What did I do wrong?
Yeah. Now I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
That empowerment piece is
what
massive.
You said a second ago, Taylor, fucking.
What?
I've joked around with it. I was like, when I started waking up earlier or convincing people to do better, I was like, you're like, what are you doing, bro? Like, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to do that to be successful. Or you don't need to do this or whatever. I was like, man, I've convinced so many people to stay out late and get fucked up with me for a long time and to do all these things. Like, let's go do this. Let's do that. I'm like, it's probably good to flip the side karma-wise to convince people to do a little better.
Straight up, dude. Because you know, in the aggregate, right, the karmic debt is better when you're putting all that positive energy out in the right direction and showing people a better way.
Yeah.
And I'll get blasted the other day. They're like, man, who would listen to this fucking guy? There's some guy was talking about me.
Do you?
Been kicked out of the SEAL teams. You fucking left Foreign Legion. I go, yeah, that's why I can tell people what not to do, bro.
Pretty good example.
That's what I told him. I said, bro, that's where I learned.
Exactly.
Don't you know?
But the other part is you have to be in the SEAL team.
So there you go. Yeah, I go, and in the statement, bro. Yeah, it's like, dude, I learned a lot in that pathway, but a lot of that was, I just thought it was so funny because I'm like, yeah, dude, no shit. Of course, because I learned the wrong way to learn the right way. Some people still are in a wrong way and haven't even learned or been shown the right way. That's the difference, man. It's like, if you can't point back and tell you what you're doing. So the fact you're commenting this right now, I can tell you your life's dog shit.
For real.
Just like right there.
Ain't nobody with a solid life being like,
I said, bro, if your life's not amazing, I said, you should probably go sit back down at the kids' table and take notes.
100%, bro.
Straight up.
100%.
You lost $1 million. Like, motherfucker, you never even made it.
You didn't, yeah. So how you talking shit to me?
I know, I've been talking about, like, not to get into politics, but they're like, he was $900 million in debt. I was like, yeah, you know where you had to be? Being $900 million in debt.
Yeah. How did that motherfucker come back?
Yeah,
like, that's legit. I want to learn that. Yeah.
Bro, I want to be $900
I want to take advice. Yeah. How did you get there?
Yeah.
They won't give me a car loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even
like, damn,
dude.
dude.
Kia, and you're fucking telling me that this guy lost
What's
$900
the delusion?
million. How do you think he got there?
That's that delusional piece, man.
It's total delusion. A lot of delusion.
I'm like, bro, do you not see, that's the piece is once people start to get honest, and unfortunately, that honesty is usually like forced on us in like a bit. But some people won't. I heard this in when I had to go to like an NA meeting or something for court. But it was like, most people don't have the balls to burn in.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
He goes, so they live in, that's actually to their demise because they'll live in this purgatory of
mediocrity.
They'll live in this purgatory because they never have the balls to go hard to burn in. They never fail at anything because they never try at anything.
Well, that's success in general. It goes back to the same thing, dude. Like, I tell people this, like, well, you're gonna move to California, you're gonna do this thing, you're gonna sell this house you built. I'm like, bro, I could always go back and get a fucking 3-car garage in a gated neighborhood in Oklahoma for freaking $300,000 and drive a fucking Tahoe that's paid off. And they're like, oh. I'm like, yeah, dude, with the knowledge that I have now, it's fucking cakewalk. So wouldn't I push it to the next level?
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
Gotta evolve, man.
Yeah, well, it's also like the business part. There was like a real.
What else? What have we done? We're just checking out. Like, oh, okay, I made it at 35 or 30 or whatever. Yeah, I'm done. I'm good.
There was a reel going around or something that said, you know, what if you fail in the business? They go, well, then I'll go get a job and work till I'm 65. So
I'll go do what you're doing.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
gonna do what everyone else is doing.
bitch.
That's the worst part. And I go, damn, that's actually a really powerful way to look at it. It's like,
and the truth is, we'll never do what they're doing, though.
yeah, I'm like,
We'll never, because we'll be fucking. My wife will say it best. We learn, like, if I fall flat on my face, she goes, I'll be here fucking half the speed next time.
yeah,
Half the time. You can
Yeah.
do exactly like 0 today. Ryan would go and do everything you just did in the last 15 years in freaking 2.
yeah.
So I made so many
Same.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
what you've
can't.
learned along
That it's
the way.
callous, man. You can't just hand somebody that.
Yeah,
As much as we want it so fast.
there was a dude, he was training for, he hit me up and he was doing like some consultation work, but he was training for SEALs. He's going in, he's like, man, dude, I don't even know if I'm gonna get a contract because he had some checker background stuff all like this. I said, well, train like you're going. Said, and then try a different branch. I go, he's like, well, dude, if I train for SEALs, but I don't get it, I'm like, you're gonna be way better off.
What's
Train
the
for
problem?
the high standard, bro. I'm like, where are you gonna lose here? He's like, I don't really thought about it. Yeah, dude, go full tilt. Also, universally, what that does, you're operating like it's already gonna happen. That's important anyway, man. You should be operating and affirming energetically. Who the fuck knows what all the gold dust going around is? You're not gonna be worse off. Stack the deck in your favor. Put that universal law of attraction out there, bro. What's happening? I'm gonna go and that's what I did when I was trying to get into SEAL training. Everybody said no. They're like, no way. I'm like, well, I'm gonna train like I'm going. Fucking, I don't care. They're like, you're never gonna get a top secret clearance. Never gonna happen. And I did. By the way, I got it taken away though, but later. You know, got it taken away 7 years later, but still, I had it. You know? But that was like a massive piece because I would have never gotten the shape required unless I just operated that way. And like, oh, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I needed that time, and I think it really helped me out because then also people saw that and helped me that maybe wouldn't have because I was just like already in it.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
Yeah.
They're seeing you put in the effort. They're willing to work with you. They're willing to help you out.
The secondary and tertiary effects of you operating that way are things you don't really think about.
No, until it happens. You're like, oh, I guess that's the reason they bet on me.
That guy gave me a letter of recommendation that I would have never have gotten if I wouldn't have put myself in that.
You have guys hit you up all the time like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, what have you done? Have you already done some shit? And most of them have done fucking
Nothing.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro,
nothing.
why would I fucking waste my time helping you? Because
You've done nothing.
You're
not trying to help
the guy who's like, hey, I'm already doing this. I'm thinking about doing this. Like, what do you think? Like, bro, you're already committed. You're already doing the work. I'm like, it's not wasting my time. I can help this person like, progress.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had a guy going, he was like, bro, I've been turned down. I was like, where are you at? He's like, well, I've had them like 8 people say no in like 3 different branches. I said, all right, we can work together.
Yeah. All right, let me figure this out.
I was like, he's like, and I'm in court getting all these things going. I have a lawyer.
Perfect.
I'm like, all right, bro. All right. He's like way down the road and still pushing.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
this guy's gonna be successful. I think he ended up getting a Ranger contract though.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, but it was like had some old shit that like needed to get
Expunged.
Yeah, man, and dude, and by the way, man, if you're in a position of power, man, chop that shit, dude. That's it. Let people in, dude, who want to get in, bro.
True.
Savages, bro. You don't want
We
don't
need more
want
people like
Boy
that. We need
Scouts,
people
man.
like us, like
yeah,
back
you
in the
don't
day,
want Boy Scouts,
No.
bro. And the problem is now they even have medical shit where it's like where they have access to all the medical. So they're like, well, he ate Adderall when he was in fucking high school.
Yeah, that fucking doctor
But
gave it
it's
to
like,
him.
yeah, and it was like juvenile stuff.
That's
so
crazy.
dudes are getting turned down now because they have access to all the medical records.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, bro, that's a shame because I probably would have been turned down. Like,
Yeah, so many people would have been turned
and
down.
it's like, dude, it's sad because it's really narrowing this field of what really should be kind of some pirates.
It should be.
And it's just kind of like, let's get the squeakiest
Boot
guy.
camp or freaking training or
Yeah.
you know, buds is about. It's about carving that person into what they need.
Yeah.
But you can't make someone have drive and excitement or freaking whatever. What you do is you harness this freaking young guy full of piss and vinegar that's caused these problems, and then you try to just mitigate all the mistakes that
Let's hone him into a.
That's what the best fighting
hone him
force
in.
is, bro.
Yeah, let's hone him in. Dude, you do not want the guy that played safe the whole time.
No.
No, bro. Dude, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Good to see you, bro.
Always a pleasure, man.
Good to see you.
We got more to do.
Yeah, you too,
We
dude.
got more to do, man.
I'm excited.